Hi, I'm Charlotta.
And I'm Vicky, and welcome to the School of Pattern Cutting.
Today we're going to show you how to add volume to the top of your sleeve, which is called a puffed sleeve or leg of mutton sleeve. We're planning a whole series of videos on sleeves, so subscribe to make sure you get the newest. So let's look at the puffed sleeve.
So this sleeve has a lot of volume at the top of the sleeve. As you go down your sleeve, it's fitted towards your cuff. So we're not adding volume, we're not going to make a wide sleeve. We're going to look at the top of the sleeve here, where there's all this structure going on and all this depth of fabric.
But we're not going to show you how to make this specific sleeve. We're going to show you how to make a generic pattern so you can design your own.
So we're now going to look at the TOILE we've created for you, and then we'll look at how we can draft the pattern with you.
So let's have a look at our puffed sleeve in a bit more detail and analyze how a pattern works.
So we're going to draft a very straightforward puff sleeve here, aren't we?
So you can see the volume is quite subtle. So if we actually added something like 15 centimeters, but as you can see what the puffed volume does, it lifts up the sleeve a bit, it widens the shoulder, and it just adds sort of a bit more volume to the sleeve head. I'm going to turn the dummy so you can see it in more detail.
So what's really interesting about puff sleeve is it's not about just adding volume, it's about adding this height. Yeah. So if you imagine your arm in here, you can imagine your arms holding this up. And we've done this in a calico that holds its own shape, and that's how you normally do a TOILE.
Yeah.
So
but in a chiffon, it would be sort of quite 70s, quite romantic drapey. And also when we draft the pattern, we're going to talk about where you want to add the volume. So as Vicky said, you can add it more so it goes out. I'm going to turn the mannequin back so you can see it. You can have it either coming all out, or you can have it all coming up. So it's slightly different. So Pierre Cardin did one where it goes up like this. So that's like straight.
Well, I think this is where your design comes into it. So you can think, well, actually, I want something quite romantic and quite delicate. So you could do it in a TOILE lawn. We think that actually want something a bit more structured. So you could do it in a TOILE or a wool.
You might add a padding underneath as well, isn't it?
And I think that's where there's lots of different ideas going on. But we're going to show you how to do this very simple version of it, so you can get an idea and then you can play around with designing it.
Yes, and also we are thinking about long-term doing something on pleats, because that gives you a completely different look. So if you want that, if you comment below and let us know, because it's a look which
we were saying that Vivienne Westwood uses a lot of pleats in her work. It gives it a much more firmer structure.
Yes, and it's sort of a bit more conceptual, like it's a bit more drapey, isn't it? Yeah. But yeah, so now we know how it works. Let's get to drafting it. As always, you need your paper, and this time we're working from your sleeve block. So what we're going to do is as you can see, it's a really long, big pattern. So what we're going to do is you're just going to work down to the elbow, because all the action will be happening up in the head.
You can extend it down to the cuff, you've got a bit more room. And as usual, you've got 2 notches on the back, is that right?
Yes.
And 1 notch on the front. So
and you've got a 3rd notch, which is your shoulder seam.
So you can tell where it is.
So if you mark it the elbow, so you know it's the same length. And we're just gonna draw across the bottom.
So you can have it any length you like, can't you? You can decide however long you want this.
And then we're gonna draw a 2nd line at 90 degrees to your sleeve head, to your shoulder seam. And that's your straight of grain, and it's also going to be one of the lines we add volume.
So remember, we use a pen so you can see what we're doing.
Yeah. But use a pencil if you're doing it. So as we explained on the TOILE, all the volume is happening up here above your notch points. So to create that volume, we want to leave the main body the same, and all the volume has to happen up here. So you're going to first of all draw from your underarm point to your underarm point. So you should have a right angles all here.
Yes.
And then we've got one line where we can add volume, but it would be quite a concentrated volume. So we're going to draw a line either side, just so we have the volume spread out. So if you mark it maybe 3 centimeters either side.
Do they have to be even, the volume?
It depends how you want your volume to look.
But for the one that we're drafting?
Yes, we want it even. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is, let's mark this with an S for shoulder. So we know it's the middle one on both sides. Because we're going to cut it open now. So you're going to cut down here, and then you're going to cut either side to that point and leave it attached so we can open it up.
This is when you add volume, you always have to try to leave it attached, don't you? So
well, it makes things easier because you can
down the
pivot it.
centre?
Yeah.
And then in here.
Yes.
Means you get everything sort of stays attached, don't you?
Yeah.
So, and everything so you don't have to hopefully worry about losing too many pieces.
It also helps you lay out your pattern. So before you glue it, it sort of stays in place, it doesn't move around.
And cut up here?
First of all, let's cut towards the seam from the other side.
Oh, okay.
So what we're going to do now is put another piece of paper underneath. I'm going to do it this way around so you can see where we're creating volume. So what we're going to do now is open up the sleeve head. And as you can see, this looks quite massive, but that's how much I did on the TOILE, and it is actually quite subtle. So it's always this volume, in a way, being timid doesn't work, because then it just looks a bit too big.
You need it looks oversized instead of looking like it actually meant deliberate. I think that's the thing, is you've got to make it look deliberate, don't you?
Yes. So otherwise you just end up with a bit of a gather. So what we're going to do first of all is glue on the sleeve itself. Okay. And then we're going to, if we extend the line up to here.
So what I think that the common mistakes are is people just don't put enough volume in. So
basically, if you're not sure, always go a bit bigger and a bit smaller. So what we're going to do is draw an equal amount of volume each side, so we get the same at the back and the front. And this is where, as a designer, you might say, oh, actually I want all my volume at the front, or I want it all at the back, so it becomes all puffed, but we're going to make it even, so I think we should add maybe, how about 8 centimeters either side?
8 centimeters each side, like that. So on there on the ruler.
So if you just mark it a bit so we know roughly, and the same as 1/16.
Yeah.
Okay, so what we're going to do is, this is how we want the bottom to look. So we're just going to use a bit of glue. So we're going to cut it again in a second.
So glue this one on here?
Yeah, but only this part, not the extra 3 centimeters.
I'll detach this one.
So it's roughly here, isn't it? That's our point. And you might want to mark in colour if you're working, because as you can see, it's disappearing. What we're going to do now, at the moment, it's not quite hard to see how a line goes. So you're going to cut across here and here, cut it away, and then spread it more evenly.
Oh, okay, so we haven't got a massive chunk in the middle.
So you can only cut the top, if you can, not the bottom.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah. Yeah, because we want to keep the bottom paper intact, don't we? That's what we're gluing on. Is that why you have to mark your S's so you know
Yes.
which way up it goes?
And especially, we have only done one cut. If you want to be really precise, you might do 3 or 4. So it's really lovely spread out rather than bigger chunks.
So you want it to be perfectly even. You've got to spread it out evenly.
Yeah, so you get a lovely, so you can see now is where we sort of, can you see this is getting a bit higher? So we're sort of really trying to spread it out.
So do try to keep this line as even as possible.
Yeah. So if you had 6, you could really make it a lovely curve.
So you could just mark it here, couldn't you?
Yeah.
So I know that we're going to go roughly back there. Right, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So we're looking to create this shoulder seam again, aren't we?
Yeah.
And I think, like with all things, you have a go, you make a toile, you see how it works.
Especially with volume, because in like a big atelier, you might work all that on the stand because you're draping fabric. Yeah. So it's always hard to do flat cutting. But it's a nice shortcut if you're doing something where you have a technique. Yeah. And it's easier and faster. And so what we're going to do is we're going to draw in the curve now. Let's use a blue pen just so people can see the difference. And you can even use your pattern mask. And what you probably will end up doing is you're going to go higher above your line. Yes. So I think we should actually start maybe like this. So we might need to switch around your pattern mask.
So we're going to start coming up like that.
Yeah. It's sort of just quite, because you want it to...
Oh, yeah, it needs to come from that side.
Oh, that's quite nice, yeah. It's actually perfect.
And then do we want to come onto here?
Yes.
I think it's where with these things where this is where you need to take the time, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because this you don't want it. It's easy to do things onto paper, isn't it? So.
And then I actually would flip it round.
So we're doing the mirroring the curve.
And I think this is quite a weird angle, so I would actually aim to that point. So I would ignore that seam and just go up. But that's just experience where you think, sometimes with pattern cutting, if it looks nice on paper, it's going to look nice.
Well, I think that's it, isn't it? It's like, you don't really want lots of sharp angles, do you?
But not always. It depends on your pattern. So it's not the heart.
I think for sleeve heads, though, you want them smoothly fitted, don't you? So you've got to imagine smooth curves.
So here you can see it actually becomes quite flat, the volume is. So if you did it the more peaked you do it, the higher the leg of mutton is.
Oh, okay. So we went up to here.
Yeah.
But we haven't done a very extreme leg pattern on ours.
So if you think we only added that much volume, so it's only going to go up a bit above your shoulder, but the bigger you actually move this up, and then the more curved it becomes. So don't just add volume here, you would actually move this up more, and automatically it becomes more curved. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to mark how we want it together. So I think we did 3 centimeters.
Yeah.
But I think we should gather it for about 10 centimeters. So let's go 2 centimeters either way.
I'll just use this. So 2 centimeters away from the gather.
And you mark that.
Yeah.
And you do the same on the other side. And then what you do is one of these lovely circular marker quite big, and then we're gonna draw in an arrow with a big line. Very technical term. And then you write gather to 10 centimeters.
You must always write on the pattern.
Yes.
Because otherwise you're going to chop that bit off and it won't know.
And this again, if you now mark this line, because that's your new shoulder point, so that becomes a notch again.
Okay, so that's a notch.
That's a notch, and then these 2 are for fitting.
So you know that's the back and that's the front.
Yes. So the last thing, I'm just going to quickly show you what you need to do on your bodice pattern. It's basically on your proper pattern. Actually, let's trace it with you. So let's just trace around just the armholes, people. See.
And then like that?
Yeah, we don't have to join. Yeah,
Okay.
just so it we can seal it together. So on your sleeve, we've created these 2 new notches. Yeah, so this is an old notch, this is the seam, and that's an old notch. So now on your bodice pattern, you just need to mark the 2 new notches, and we know we have 5 centimeters either side. So on both of your front and back, you're 5 centimeters down.
So 5 centimetres, basically half of that gather,
Yes,
isn't it? That
yeah.
volume we've put in.
And then you might even write on it end of gather or something like that to remind you that it's not a normal notch. And then the rest of the bodice pattern is up to you. That's all.
So that's the back and that's the front.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've got to remember, everybody's got to remember to put seam allowance on.
Yes. Yeah. So this is your just basic draft on how to add volume to a sleeve. So enjoy making it. I hope it's all clear, and good luck with it.
Thanks for watching. If you like this video, please subscribe and we'll see you in the next one.